Welcome to Ciao Down After Dark, the show that brings you the inside scoop on Ciao House. I'm your host, Ben Young, and joining me tonight are my co hosts, Kevin Halbrick, Ben Mink, Andrew Young, and our special guest, the man of the hour. Let's give it up for local TV star Drew
Hey.
Keane. How are
Woo!
you
Hey
guys
guys, what's
doing
up?
tonight? How are you
How we
doing tonight,
doing?
Drew?
I'm doing
Keane.
great, man. Feeling good. The show came out and like 50 new Instagram followers. We're getting there.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Dude, that's awesome, man. I really enjoyed watching the first episode, probably more than I anticipated, because I didn't hear the best reviews on season one, but this season it feels like it's got some storylines happening already, and I'm
Yeah.
excited, especially because you're on the show. But obviously,
Yeah, they did a real
um,
good job putting it together. It's all the trailers and everything we saw, like, it was also my first time seeing the episode as well. So like it was cool to see how they put it together. It was awesome.
no. So Keen, when you were there, you did tell us that the living conditions were pretty
Yeah.
not so great. You want to tell us about that?
They weren't as luxurious as we thought. So like I landed in Rome. I had a 14-hour layover, and then I flew to Lecce, which is in Puglia. And you get picked up, like, there's someone that has your sign on it, like your name's on the sign, and they can't talk to you because they're not supposed. You're not supposed to know any information.
What do you
So
mean
we
by that?
originally got, like, they can't
Oh, the
because
people aren't.
the
Okay.
yeah. So just a silent car ride for like 45 minutes into Lecce.
That
Yeah.
sucks. Yeah.
It's kind of awkward.
Like, yeah, yeah.
And then you go to this hotel to start, and at this point of the show, I wasn't even sure where I was in the show because I was originally cast as an alternate, and I didn't know that I was on the
Mm.
show.
Oh, no shit.
So they fly the alternates out as well. So like I was like, all right, cool, man. At least I'll get a weekend in Italy. If I'm on the show, cool. If I don't, still all good. Um, but you're cooped up in that hotel room, and like you get food delivered, and then for breakfast you had someone, one of our chaperones is the best way. They were called talent managers. Fantastic guys, Joe and Murph and Elon, unbelievable people. They take you down to the breakfast continental, and they were like, "All right, don't say anything to anyone. Sit at your own table and mind your own business." And that's all it
Shit.
was.
Damn, they were really like tight-lipped, like that you couldn't fucking figure anything out. That's interesting.
Everything was very tight-lipped. Like it was literally, you like, don't let anyone, and like their objective there was get as much sleep as possible. So then went from to the villa. Villa was gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, incredible. Um, but yeah, the illusion of you having this awesome villa stay is not quite what it was.
So, how much
Okay.
sleep do you think you were getting? Because there was
Yeah.
a moment in the show where I sent to you, and you're like, "Yeah, I wasn't sleeping at all at that point in time." Like per night, would you say like
I would
is it a
say
norm?
4 to 6 hours.
And then they're just like waking you
Jesus.
up, like eat breakfast,
More
get ready
baby.
to start
Yeah, like
cooking again.
you were up at 6 a.m. every 6 or 7 a.m. But like, we don't have our
Jesus.
phones or anything, so it's like you're literally just like talking until you're
Oh
like,
my
all right, well, like
god.
I guess I'll go to sleep now.
Were you drinking after the challenges?
Like on the
Like
set, they would give
were
it,
you like
as you
partying?
guys saw on the set, like you were like they gave us a glass of wine. No, there was no partying.
Oh,
Like
that's
it's
lame.
actually not a good thing to say. Like one of the longest times I've gone without seriously drinking.
Is
Pretty
is that why
crazy.
you look so
Yeah.
tired? You're going through fucking
Just
withdrawals?
going through withdrawals.
Go TTs.
Uh,
Keane's just fucking shaking.
You could just see
uh,
the individual beads of sweat forming.
He's like, I
that
don't know
was
if I'm
like
gonna I don't know if I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
make it,
fucking make
guys.
it, dude.
Yeah,
But it was the first time in my life I took melatonin as a sleep aid. The first time I've ever done that because like
Oh,
fucking
I'm a crazy person, and I would just like I wouldn't be able to fall asleep without it. I would, and it took I took
Melatonin
3
doesn't
of the
do
pills.
shit, dude.
So you,
I know.
Yeah, dude, I'm with that, Andrew.
It doesn't
Yeah.
do anything, but
no, it doesn't. But you basically you went from a non-drug guy your whole life to a full-blown junkie in like a week.
Oh, yeah, on melatonin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Give
He's
me
just
some of that
snorting it.
melatonin.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta
Keane's like,
fucking
I've never
fall
taken
asleep
a-
somehow.
I've never taken a snort. I've never taken a puff, even of a cigarette, which
Never,
you actually have
never.
not. Which Keane actually has never even taken a puff of a
I
smoke
never
before,
have.
Which salute to you for that, honest to God. But
34
dude,
years
now,
old, never done
now,
it.
now look at you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm about to fucking.
Now look at
This is actually intervention, and we just love the heck out of you, and we want you to know that
it's gonna be all right.
it's gonna be all right.
It's gonna be all right.
Overall, though, for the first episode, do you think you were portrayed pretty well? I think you were. I thought you came off one of the better contestants for sure.
Absolutely.
I think so. I went in and I also didn't have what I was like ideas in mind. But you don't get a walkthrough of the kitchen until like, a couple minutes before your challenge.
Oh shit!
And then it's like, all right, I gotta put some pieces together here. Like I had a couple dishes like, oh, this would be sick, this would be dope. But then it's also you have to go with something that you can execute in 45 minutes. And that's where the real like blender of the situation comes in. Like I literally had no intention of making risotto at all.
Were you
And
guys
then-
like talking about
Wow.
it beforehand? Were you guys like throwing ideas around?
The night before there was some chatter for sure, but like I didn't want to show all my cards all at once. Like my exact plan was like, ride the middle until and see how for as long as you can.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, that one guy was high in his cards. What didn't he say he was like a sushi chef? But he
Austin.
actually,
Say that again.
Yeah.
Austin, yeah, he worked in a restaurant
Yeah.
there, right?
but he was actually like a professional, like Italian chef or something.
Yeah, Austin's incredible, dude. That guy is fucking awesome. Like he is so cool.
He
yeah,
seemed like
you,
a cool guy too.
He was so
Yeah,
cool.
He did.
Yeah, he was as soon as like I wasn't a part of his cook. Like as soon as he came up, I was like, oh shit, this guy can fucking cook if he's making fresh pasta and all this in 45 minutes. Like, damn dog.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
it. I would have done it.
Kevin,
Unlike
tell you-
someone who didn't make fresh pasta that you had
Oh
a
my
comment
God.
about.
I did.
Do you want to
What was that
elaborate on
about?
that? I mean,
So
Yeah.
my biggest thing with that is
Yeah.
like, I have nothing against dry pasta. I enjoy dry pasta. I use dry pasta at my house. But if we were on an Italian cooking show,
That's
and like Alex,
Mhm.
Alex
that's
also
fucking
brought it up.
insane that you
like,
just said that.
There
Yeah,
was
yeah.
there was better pasta that she could have used for that, but she chose spaghetti. And also, like her station was right next to Ivan, who was making fresh pasta. Like you didn't think at one point to look over, and be like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't do this.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
So did everyone made like fresh pasta, but she is the only one that took it out of the box?
Out of the 3 people that made for that challenge, she was the only one that used. Well, there's 4 people
Yeah.
that used pasta. She's the only one that used boxed pasta.
Actually, the question I have a multi-pointed question for Keane. Out of all, I don't even know if you could answer this, but I'm gonna play the armchair psychologist part of this podcast. And Kevin, I hope you'll join me.
Oh, sure.
And I want to dig into the personalities of each contestant.
Oh, I like
Yeah,
this.
And
Go with
I would
this.
say, honest to God, I'm not even being facetious here. Keane, top, because he was easygoing. Dude, one thing I wrote down that made me laugh so fucking hard you did, and you weren't even being a dick about it. You were, but you weren't. It was just such a cool fucking Keane thing to do, which some fucking broad was up there and she's like explaining the ingredients she used, and Keane goes, damn. Like silently. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah,
I
she
know
was-
what he's
she-
talking
Yeah.
about. What
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
There was like Keane
Because there was,
81
like-
in the episode. Yeah.
There was like
The-
10
there
ingredients
was
in
some
that.
what
So many
freaking-
ingredients, yeah.
Oh yeah, and she's like, and even like the which is another next point, which I'll get into, I guess, in a minute. But the 2 hosts, Andrew, sit the fuck down when I'm speaking. What the fuck are you doing?
I guess,
like
I
a
guess
close
all
the
of it
door.
I gotta let
The
out.
dogs, the dog.
You got the
Yeah, okay,
dogs.
fair enough.
The
Bring
dog's
Shinsky in.
barking.
No. But anyway, for real, I fucking lost my train of thought.
No, you were talking about the two hosts who
Oh,
they even
I
had something to say about that dish.
well, no, I was just gonna say about the host, which I could dig into more later. I've never seen a human being furrow their brow more than
Right.
the woman host.
Right,
Thank you,
buddy.
I knew
Alex.
Kevin would agree.
Yeah.
I've
Listen,
never
why
seen a
it's
brow
her
so
show?
furrowed.
She seems like a great lady, but why is she so mad at her own show? She's like, it's your show. Like, why
She
you
has
have
like
a show?
resting bitch face on the
Yeah,
whole
dog.
time.
Like,
No.
yeah, exactly. I know
It's like it's
exactly.
just like someone like
Yep.
farted like in her
Right.
face like 24/7. Like what is
Yeah,
that?
It's
Just like ugh.
She just looks fucking miserable. Yeah, dude.
She's like,
Dude,
Yeah,
Alex is Alex
She's
is
like,
Fart night.
tastes like
Risotto?
farts. Yeah.
It tastes like farts.
farts.
Did you take a shit in my risotto?
dude.
Does it fucking taste like it?
And like, I initially like like when you see like a really good looking guy, when you see a really good looking guy walk into a room and you're like, I fucking don't like you already, but they
Oh
could be
yeah.
cool. But
Oh,
like I'll say this about the male host, he's so like, and this is coming from a totally heterosexual man. He is so gorgeous that I didn't want to like him, but I like him. I like the
Gabe,
guy.
yeah.
That
Well,
bitch.
he seemed
don't
like a good-looking guy, cool-looking guy,
and he was cool.
cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The host chick with the furrowed brow, not cool. Not a fan.
Not a fan.
So
Yeah.
Alex,
Not a fan of Alex. Okay.
they were both incredible. Alex, I mean, Alex is a very tough lady. I mean, she's incredibly talented, very good cook, very good chef, very good leader. And she's from New York, grew up in New York, cooked through New York, went to Paris, cooked
Yeah,
in
I can
Paris,
tell.
came back to
I can
New
tell
York.
she's from
like,
New York.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So I mean, she's been through the ringer. Like, keep in mind, like, she came up 20 years before I did. I couldn't even, like, I got treated pretty bad, but I couldn't imagine what she went through.
So how much of the show was because they edited it and shit so much, like, and you say she was cool. So like how much of the show is to make her seem like a villain, almost like a bitch, when she's actually not? You know what I mean?
Right. That's a good question.
That's
I'm not sure. I
Ben's
mean,
laughing over here. You know what
again,
I
like,
mean,
she
Keane?
was like she was super caring, and like, dude, she was awesome. She talked to all of us, like, and she just kept it real. Like, that's what her thing is. I mean, and she's known to be a little rough around the edges on the culinary scenes, like just a badass bitch and doing these things. But like, her TV character persona is known to be like the fucking grind your teeth kind of person.
All right, that
But
makes
yeah,
sense then. It's
it's
like
like, I mean,
character she's
yeah.
kind of playing up a little bit.
it's a character she's playing, you could say. But yeah,
Okay, cool.
dude, she was like hands on, talking to the contestants, like talking to all of us every single day, sharing her life situation that's going on with her, and like really connecting with us, which was awesome.
Fuck yeah. Okay, that's good to hear.
Like, both, I mean, like, there's certain times, like, obviously you never see this on camera, but like, they'd come through the kitchen while we're cooking, they'd taste things and say, hey, this needs this. Like, hey, this needs more salt, or hey, you should add some Parmesan Reggiano to this, or something like that.
Oh,
And then we would do that. And then, like, you would see how, like, oh, this is just someone who clearly knows what the fuck they're doing.
Oh, fuck yeah,
And
man.
yeah,
That's
so you don't see that. I mean, there might be some of it on the show that comes out later. I'm not sure. Again, I'm watching it for the first time, same as all of y'all. But like, there were some moments that were like I made risotto the first episode, and she like came. I'm surprised it actually got cut. But it's like she came to me, it's like, she goes, "You are a absolute rule breaker and like crazy person for making risotto day one." I was like, all gas, no brakes, dude.
You're like, I'm basically
little
like,
bit.
you're basically like, I'm like Zev Light, basically.
yeah. It's a little like you find the biggest guy in the jail, day one.
Yeah, and then
You know what I'm saying? Fucking Garniscali, what's her name?
Gornicelli.
Alexis Garnicelli. You garnered her respect with that risotto.
Yeah.
I did.
Right?
You just got to go fuck up the biggest,
Yeah.
baddest person on the block to
Right.
get your
Say-
respect, prison rule style.
I actually
Were
have
you
to look
the-
at pretty cool.
or suck their dick. It's like one or the other, dude.
say though, Keane, so she called you a rule breaker, and then like 2 or 3 other people came up with a fucking risotto. So how much of a rule break was it?
Yeah, did they
I'm
see?
just
I mean,
saying.
Did
There
you,
was like
did they see you
Yeah,
make
for
there
that?
was
real,
like
dude.
5
first?
risottos
Yeah, if
No, so, like
60% of
like
people are making risotto, you ain't breaking that
to the
many
point where
rules.
she
Yeah.
in round 2 she goes, "No more risotto." She said that
no,
in the
so I
episode.
didn't again. I
She
didn't
was like,
go
all
into
right, I
that
get it.
like I had that in my back pocket, but I didn't go into that thinking that I was going to make that. Like I was going like I was like I'll see how much seafood, what the seafood options are, what the protein options are, and I'll just take it from there. But
No,
I was in there.
I get
I
that.
didn't.
I get that.
I
And
didn't
you're
love.
not
Yeah.
seeing what other people are or you're
Right. You
finding
don't.
out in
You
the
have no
moment
idea.
what they're right.
Right. You have no idea what they're also cooking. So like I didn't have any intention of cooking risotto, but I looked through and the vegetables that they had that day outshined the proteins. I go, all right, man. Then I guess we're doing this.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Dude, that's so fucking
So
cool.
it's
Your
like
brain works like that, man. That's fucking dope, man.
I was like,
No, it
let's do
is.
something
It
that
really is. That you could just look. So Keen, you just basically looked at a shitload of ingredients and went like, what can I make that's like exceptionally good out of this?
yes.
Fuck yeah, man.
Like I think you get a 2-minute walkthrough of the kitchen before the challenge, so you can get a little of your bearings. But like it's timed and like you can't write anything down. You don't have your phone. There's no pictures, so it's literally all memory.
Damn. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So it's also it's like
No.
I knew going in like they're gonna have risotto rice, they're gonna have Parmesan Reggiano, they're gonna have some sort of vegetable that I can definitely take and spin. Like I think I don't remember what my exact first dish was, but like I remember I mean, the risotto was like, all right, man, back pocket that shit. Like I know that I make a really good risotto, and I know that I can execute it in that time frame. So it's like, let's just, I mean, that's the last card you draw, and it's like, I'm not really impressed with the shit that I see here. I'll just go with the risotto.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. That's so cool.
Yeah, if I was walking through that fridge, that pantry, I'd just be like, I guess I'm making store-bought pasta.
Man, if you
'Cause I don't
walk through-
know-
if you walk through any pantry with every ingredient on the planet, you would make fucking Easy Mac. What the fuck are you talking
Yeah.
about, dude?
He'd be like, "Fuck
And
this."
you'd be
I'm
like,
just
I gotta
eating-
use butter. I gotta use real milk for butter.
Yo,
What-
give
what
me
the
that phone.
fuck?
Can I DoorDash from here
Right.
or not?
Yeah,
Like, what
yeah.
the hell?
If Ben had to present his dish to the judges, he'd be like, "This is an easy Mac production.
Easy Mac production.
I made it because my family's not home. So, like, here."
And by reduction, he just means I burned the shit out of it and forgot.
This is a-
Yeah,
This is a junior
fucked
bacon
it up.
cheeseburger. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Cut-
is a
cut it-
junior
cut it in
bacon
little
cheese.
squares.
Fuck
Yeah.
it.
So
That's fucking hilarious.
Junior
I was
bacon
like one of the hardest things
cheeseburger.
about that challenge was really it's like you have to represent yourself through through the Italian ingredients.
Oh,
It's like I do now, but like I don't just go home and like just make Italian food. Like
Yeah.
it's like
nah, dude.
so it's like all right, man, let's see what they have there and see how I can like try and like portray myself. And like I did a vegetarian dish. Obviously, as you guys all know, my partner is vegetarian, so it's something I cook all the time.
I got nothing
Yeah.
but respect for Keane, honestly, dude. You went on there and fucking ripped it, bro. And
So-
you repped the 302 very well, for real. You did, man.
Even though he's going on saying he's from Chicago,
Yeah.
we know where you're
Well,
from.
That's what I
man.
wanted. That's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah.
You're an East
Dude.
Coast boy
Dude,
at
what
the end
I
of
mean,
the day.
But he's
I-
based out of Chicago.
Yeah, how,
I
how
told
long
them-
has it been? How long has
lived-
it been since
I've-
you were in the Pike Creek Valley, bro?
I mean, I haven't-
TPC.
Those,
Dirty
those
Pike
hills
Creek.
those hills you came from. Fuck.
I haven't lived in Delaware in 12 years.
Yeah.
When are you going to venture
Doesn't
back to
matter.
that beautiful valley?
Doesn't matter to me. Keen, I have a
Fucking
serious
well-
question for you, though. Okay.
What's
it,
up?
it deals with the first competition. If you're not picking your dish to be the best in that first competition, whose did you like just from like seeing it, going like, oh, that looks pretty fucking good?
Ivan's dish was fucking awesome. I love to use mint in savory dishes, personally. So like to have someone do that, like that's fucking sick. Austin's dish was just something I would eat every single day. And Jan's dish, Jan also made orecchiette, but her Filipino is fucking delicious. Like I love coconut milk, so for her to use that, I thought was awesome. I thought
So none of
Phuoc's
them.
dish-
Go ahead.
I thought Phuoc's dish was good as well. I love like fish sauce caramel. Colotaro is what he used. That's fish. That's just Italian fish sauce.
Okay.
Fish sauce is fucking a fish sauce caramel is delicious. So
Why didn't you represent like Delaware's native flavor when you were on the show? Like maybe put like some mozzarella sticks in a sandwich or something like that. You know what I mean? Like try to represent 1 second. Try to represent like what's native to our passions in our community. You know.
I was thinking like I remember now that you guys are saying this, it's like a little bit coming back to me. I was thinking about Eben corn dish because that's like two things were known. But the
Oh, he's
it's
picking
never
up.
the
Man, kick this
pantry.
motherfucker off, dude. Let's
We
move
gotta
on.
take the guy off
I
that was on the
wasn't
show.
I wasn't looking for an answer. So,
Yeah, no.
Busted shop.
Dude,
We're going to be bringing in another contestant from Ciao House season 2. But before we do, a word from our sponsors, Music Movies Podcast and basementHangapparel.com. Get all your t-shirts there. Hit me up, Ben Young. You know where to find me. BasementHangapparel.com.
Hey!
How we doing,
Boop.
guys?
I
How
got
you
What's
you.
up,
doing?
Boop?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're
What's
talking
up,
to your
guys?
buddy Drew and a bunch of asshole friends of his from high school.
Yeah.
That's right.
I fucking love it. I love
All right, cool.
Hell yeah,
Let's get
Fook.
it
What's
going.
going on, dude?
Dude, I miss you, man. I love the shirt. Look at you wearing that shirt. Let's go.
Look at you wearing
We're
the
all
same fucking
joining.
shit you were wearing too, dude. What's up, dude? Thanks for joining. We're all drinking. We're all being assholes. Once again, these are my asshole friends from high school, and we're just bullshitting about the show.
I
What-
fucking love it. Thank you
what do you-
guys for having me.
What you sipping on, Phuoc?
So this just I had a little Angel's Envy earlier. This is Jack and Coke.
yeah,
Nice. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Classic.
Thanks for joining.
What are we all drinking, boys? What we got?
I am doing the long drink
Twisted
to finish.
tea.
They're good.
All right.
Just whiskey.
What?
Yeah, this whiskey.
Oh man, what? No, I'm just drinking vodka and club soda with a little splash of lime juice, my friend.
There you
Booze
go.
bag
A little
drinking
less
century.
manly than your drink, I'll admit.
That's
okay.
all right.
Yeah. Angel's
I
Envy
won't
is
judge
that
you.
good
It's
shit.
okay. There's plenty of judgment on the show already.
That's hell yeah.
That's for sure.
All right, let's get into it, Ben. You got questions for Fook?
What should we start with? It seemed like you did pretty well. You won both of the challenges, right? I mean, you
Yes,
got
sir, yeah.
yeah, that was awesome. I think you were portrayed pretty well. Do you feel the same? You think you did good? Episode 1?
I mean, I think they painted me as like a freaking hero in episode 1. To be
I
honest,
agree.
Yes, he did.
You know?
Hell yeah.
It's either they're trying to set me up for something good or they're trying to set me up to fuck me over later. So I don't know, but
Mm.
it's it's like it
Dude,
almost seems
hell
too
yeah.
good to be true. But I mean, it's like I think all of us were really scared, to be honest. We were all there, obviously, but half the time we were all blacked out. We were filming so much, and we just didn't know what was gonna be in, what was gonna be kept out. We were just trying to give them the best content that we can give them. But yeah, honestly, yesterday when we were watching that, everyone was just like beyond overjoyed with how they portrayed me. And I think it was really true to who I am as a person, inside and outside of TV. This is the first time I've been on TV, just if people didn't know. So it's really nice that I didn't have to change my persona or anything to be who I was. I was just being myself on TV, and that's who I would be as a leader in the kitchen or just as a person in general. So I'm really happy about that.
Hell yeah, man.
That was an
Good
awesome answer.
Fook. That was a good answer.
Probably the
It's like
best
the,
answer of the
reverse
night. It was a real answer.
Damn, dude, that was.
Damn.
The
Yeah.
answer is the
Yeah.
answer. Yeah.
Have you written any literature, or have you like
Yeah,
attended
yeah.
a Tony Robbins?
The answer was better than the question, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
answer
It was
yeah,
way
yeah.
better.
Kind of a
You
shit.
know,
Yeah. Actually, it was.
Oh,
Not even
Nate's about to
close.
say shit question again.
No, actually, well, I took it back. I took it back halfway through.
I'm not even finished
uh,
it.
Oh,
Did you
uh,
go into that first challenge knowing that your plan was to make the dish that you made?
No. I think the biggest challenge is to go in not kind of tunnel visioning on yourself, because then if you do that, you kind of screw yourself over, because you really we don't know what we have at our hands at our disposable until like 5-10 minutes right before we're actually about to cook. So like there was a lot of reality going on, but I will have to say when it cook time came to cook, it was actually, hey, you got 45 minutes. It's 45 minutes. They don't play around. So a lot of it was just like trying to find concepts and ideas of dishes that you wanted to make or something that I wanted to make. Um, and then not trying to go again like so hard like I really wish they had a piece of beef or I really wish they had this vegetable that I can work with because that's you're just going to shoot yourself in the foot going into the challenge like that.
I didn't have as nice of things to say about other people in the cast, but for you, no, no, I'm being very dead serious. Like,
Right. Yeah.
you just seemed very like you have a lot of humility about you, and you know how like when you look at somebody and when they laugh and smile, you can tell if it's fake because their eyes don't crease right here, like all
Right.
the
Yeah.
corners. I could tell, dude. For real, like every time you laughed or smiled, I was like, "Oh, that's like he's not just putting it on there. Like this is like a genuinely positive seeming person." Which I feel like
Thank
is,
you.
you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? That
It,
almost
it,
probably
it
sounded like a
100
racist thing because you're an Asian fella, but
Jesus
it's
Christ.
not. You know what I mean? But no, but for real, I actually wrote that down. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. This guy seems like legit. And then the other comment I had was the first sentence you said was, well, I was raised Asian American and my name is Phuoc, so you can imagine how much I got bullied. And that was such like a cool, disarming statement to make to people that it's just like, I don't know, dude. That just made me like want to like you so much off
Right.
that
Thank
first
you.
thing, you know?
Yeah.
No, I totally appreciate that. I think again, like we're going into that or this whole show, I didn't want to change who I was as a person. I wanted to go in. I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Fuck yeah.
Either you like me for who I am or you hate me, and
Hell yeah,
that's that.
man.
You
You're
know,
fucking
like
right.
I came in there and that was the story that I wanted to share with the world because I am first gen Asian American born here. My parents immigrated over during the Vietnam War. Definitely wasn't oopsie baby, but I found out when I was like 22, and you know what?
It's all good.
I was
Hey, it
Fuck
I was
yeah.
like,
happens.
I'm here now, guys. What are you gonna
Yeah,
do with
well,
me? I'm here.
Oh, dude,
What?
I don't know. It just made me. I bet you a lot of people feel the same way. I don't know why, but it just made me want to like you right off the rip. You know what I mean? Like, just a sense of like, oh, dude, I would go to the bar and drink a beer with this fucking guy, man. Like,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
think
So
cool.
that's what I was a little bit of part what I guess what I was trying to show is that a lot of us chefs, there's a whole different side of us that everyone doesn't see. I think everyone just thinks chefs and they think the Gordon Ramsays and the old school chefs that are throwing plates at
Wow.
you and just like yelling "fuck you," like get the shit out of my kitchen.
Right. Smart cook
Sure,
here, white
Just
shit.
yelling
Right.
all the
Yeah.
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right. I mean, there's moments like that, but there's a different side to us too. We love to get down to have fun, and we also respect and love everyone that works with us or our friends and family as well. So I think it was just trying to show the world a different side of the chefs, and I think Ciao House is doing a great job of it. It's a total different, not style of show than you would see where other ones just like head to head battle, whereas this one is just like you can see us and our personalities, and it gives the American public or whoever's watching the ability to kind of get to know us as a person on a personal level versus just us in a chef coat. And just it's just something really really cool that Chow House has done for us
Dude,
chefs.
Right. And now we
that
have
is
the show exactly where we want it, guys. Let's get Keane out of here.
He said, "Fuck
I
Book." He
think
just took over the damn
I
fucking show.
know.
Ah, dude.
Slightly in the bottom now. Let's get that ball out here. Here we go. We're on to the races.
Nice.
Nice. Now we can navigate.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you. You said that you feel you were portrayed as the hero of the episode, maybe the season. Let's see. Um, who would you
Yeah.
say was portrayed as the villain then?
Wow.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Is it?
I mean,
Because some people have opinions.
He's looking for a specific answer. By the way.
I think
Yeah, it
the
is.
villain was definitely portrayed as. I mean, the only other person that had as much screen time as anyone else was probably Zev. Um,
Hmm?
Ah,
Zev had so
Kev,
much
chill,
screen time.
chill, Kev,
I
chill, Kev.
yeah, I was telling people, I was like, you know what? It's almost like Food Network just let Zev narrate the whole first episode because he was just talking the whole time,
He
which was great.
was.
I love the guy. He's a
Oh,
homie.
do
You know?
you?
That's
What
where
a
we
Yeah, yeah.
differ.
character. What a
The
character.
guy?
Yeah,
That's where our opinions split.
I,
Well,
to not
I like him. Like, I think he's a character, man. That guy's crazy.
without spoiling anything, like if you get past all of that bullshit and like him just blurting out whatever he wants to say,
Yeah.
he's actually a good guy. Like deep down below all that shit.
That's I had a
Okay.
follow-up question.
Okay.
That's a good answer, and I had a follow-up question to that because
Sure.
I was kind of curious about because you are on TV, you do have to make a show, you have to make people engaged, and like you have to make a villain, like you said, and like a hero or whatever. And I was wondering how much of Zev was like the Conor McGregor effect, where it's like I'll play this character to drum up more hype,
Mm.
versus hey, behind the scenes, like kind of like you just said, hey, this guy's actually kind of cool. Like I could drink a beer with, earlier I said like I could just watching the show, I was like, dude, I could drink a beer with this guy. Watching the show
Yeah.
with Zev, I was like, I would stuff him into a locker, like like right, you know what I mean? But like, but but I just
Right.
wondered how much of that was kind of played up by production, and maybe he's actually really cool, like kind of like you're alluding to, but he's playing that character up.
Yeah. No, I think there's a yes and no. There's a little bit of everything. There's like a blurred line right there. There's definitely a part of us where we realized the more content that we gave them, obviously the more juicy stuff that we said, the more screen time we would probably get. But at half the time we were so busy trying to figure out how to win this game, how to work together as a team, how to do all this stuff. Like that was probably like the last thing on our minds is like what we're saying. So when I say that probably like 80% of the time we were all blacked out, at least I was. So watching back last night, I don't remember a lot of the stuff that was going on because it was just going. But
Yeah.
when I watch it back, I'm like, oh yeah, now it's coming back to me. But to go back to your question, no, I definitely Zev. He's a really cool guy to hang out with, and I would,
Okay.
we definitely would grab a beer or a drink together outside
Okay.
of this.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So, Phuoc, on our first day, was there anyone that you sized up? First of all,
Ooh.
you're like,
Question.
I just by looking at you, I can tell you I'm a better cook than you.
Ah, that's a
You.
good one. Wow.
dude, that's a great question.
You know what? I don't think that I was in that mindset saying that I was better than anyone. I think coming into it, I knew that I was going to be kind of like the underdog because I didn't have any Michelin training. I didn't have all that crazy stuff. A lot of it was self-taught. So coming in there, I was trying to be as humble as I can. Um, and I knew coming in there, there's going to be some cats that were going to, they were going to throw shit down. I just couldn't. I didn't know who it was yet, but I knew a lot of them. Just from first glance. Like, I mean, from you, hearing Austin talk, I was just like, this guy is holding back a lot of information when we're talking, and it's
Mm.
just like I feel like he's got something to hide. Zev, this guy, he's just fully tatted. It seems like he's very loud and just boasts a lot of things. It seems like he's got a lot under his arsenal. Ivan was just kind of like the silent assassin. He didn't talk much. He had a really jolly, loud laugh, but other than that, I was like, he could be a silent assassin or something. I don't know.
That's good.
And then you
But
took a
yeah,
look at Shannon and you went, eh.
Yeah. What? Yeah. What? So,
The
Ooh,
line
what?
that she had in the
yo,
show where she goes, being attractive, I know. Like, what the fuck?
oh,
What the
dude.
hell was
Yo,
that?
like
She made herself so
America's
unlikable right then.
America's infiltrated. Who keeps rice? I don't give a shit.
yeah,
What's going on with- Like, what's good with you, dude? You can't cook rice.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Phuoc, you were in cooking second. Were there any dishes in the first round that you tasted that were like, oh shit, or you saw that like you were like, oh, there's some real fucking cooking going on here?
Yeah, no, honestly,
And to
one of my-
sorry, and say,
It's just
were
way
there
to
any
cut
dishes,
him
like,
off halfway through.
were you like, I just got out, and like, were they just like, they go, are you fucking kidding me? Like any dish, like any asshole can make that.
Who was in the first cook again?
It was me, Ivan,
I don't-
Zev,
Mink has some notes. Not
T,
me.
and Hannah,
Okay,
and Maria.
and Maria. All right, so hold on, let me get my notes out.
I got a lot to say about Bert. No, I'm kidding.
Does everyone
Honestly,
have
okay, so
notes?
when
I don't have any notes.
I'm kidding. I'm just joking.
when the first group came out, honestly, when I saw because you were working with leeks, right? Correct me if I
Yeah,
was wrong. You
leeks
had
and
leeks,
mushrooms.
the
Was.
leeks and mushrooms in your risotto. See, I remember the important dishes.
Mm.
Hell yeah.
Fuck
Hell
it.
yeah, brother.
Credit to Keane.
I know that because like risotto, it takes fucking time to cook. You know, you got to build flavors and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, this guy is trying to show something to the world. He's gonna try to do risotto in 45 minutes. That's a task. That's a feat. And I say that with we sit at home many times watching these cooking shows, and we're like, what the fuck are you doing? That's so easy. Like, just do this, just do that, and you don't realize there's like a million cameras and shit that you're trying to go around. You're all sharing the same spoon. Like, hey, who's got the spoon? Oh, I need that spoon. No,
Mm.
just share. So it's like there's so many things and things that go into it where it's just like, yeah, I could do that, but risotto in 45 minutes, that's a tough one. And then obviously Ivan and his fucking handmade everything, you know. I was like,
Insane.
well, nice knowing you, Italy. I was ready to go. Like, you know, I was like, fuck this shit.
Fuck
I
this
think,
shit.
you know, I
I'm
I
out.
don't know if I'm made for this. I'm
Yeah,
out.
man.
No, but just he just threw that down. I was like, wow, this guy is also trying to make a statement. So the first cook really showed a lot, not only about technique, but who these chefs are. A lot of chefs took risks and all that stuff, and I was just like, okay, these guys are sticking out. They're making moves. They're not just making something simple. They're actually challenging themselves and purposely taking a risk, knowing that they could very much well fail on national television. So that gave me like mad respect for those people.
Yeah, that's deserving of respect for sure.
Now on the
Not just
same
going with like a
token,
no, it is not to go
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
that you can like.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. Not that you're not
what
just going with
dish from the
something.
first round you thought were like, are you
I'll go
fucking kidding
fuck
me?
myself, I guess, Keane.
Um,
Jesus.
Unfortunately, and I say this with like the lightest of not trying to shit talk anyone. I think the Maria could have done a little bit better with her persimmons.
Oh, you
Maybe I
mean
mean,
don't just serve a
Wow.
fucking raw persimmon?
yeah,
Whoa.
Whoa.
yeah. I
Don't
mean,
serve it raw. Whoa.
yeah.
God.
But there the I'm sure that I didn't get to taste it, but it's
She's coming
I'm
on the
sure
pod next week to say her side.
that.
I don't know.
Fucking
I
fuck.
don't know.
Am I
Yeah.
coming back for that
Fuck.
episode, dude? Like don't
Oh, you're all back. Everybody's back.
no, I
So
don't
Phuoc, I have two more questions about the first cook as
Yep.
of the cook that I was a part of.
Correct.
you guys can
First
text.
question.
Why are you asking any questions? What?
Oh, because the fucking
I'm just kidding.
podcast, Mick.
I'm just kidding. Sorry. Just kidding.
So first, let's talk about Hannah's the uses of dry pasta. While also directly to Ivan who's making fresh pasta. I'm on the show saying that I'd be fucking embarrassed if that was the case. What is your take on that?
You know what? Honestly, I think you guys setting the tone right there, proving that you can make pasta if you truly decided to in the amount of time allotted. That kind of really set her back a little bit. Like I think that that was the easy way out. Um, but I mean, if Ivan and in the second, if we're gonna go to the second cook a little bit, Austin makes orichete, or was he the
Yeah,
first cook?
that was the first challenge.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
Jan also made orichetta.
Dan also made orichete by
Yeah.
hand. So it's just like
It's a dope word, guys. It's a
possible.
dope word. Dope word.
So it's definitely possible. But I would say that the fact that so many other chefs made pasta like from scratch in their first challenge, and she didn't, really set her back and put her dish like way below the rest. Because it's just like, well, all these other chefs did it. How come you couldn't?
Bingo. I was hoping you said that because that's what I thought the mindset was.
Dude, that was
point.
a
Right.
that's a
Point.
great point, bro. Wow. Yeah.
And
So I
my
mean, yeah.
go ahead,
Yeah.
Zeb. Go ahead, Fook.
But I mean, like again, like there's
What
a
did you just
lot
call
going
him?
on.
His name
Did you call
Fook.
him? You just said
Mink just got
Zeb.
triggered.
No. You no.
Don't
You
call
said
Fook.
Zeb.
Don't,
You said
No, I
I
don't
heard
call
that.
Fook.
No,
You
I
said Zeb.
didn't.
I mean, Fook. Yeah.
No,
Don't call Fook Zeb. Don't call Fook Zeb.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
So the second part of my
But I
question
mean-
is, what? So let's get to Zeb. Actually, Zeb's eggplant parmigiana, no parmesan. Like I will say, I thought the dish looked great. I didn't taste it.
Sure. Right.
I did taste this tomato sauce. I did think it had a little too much fish sauce in it, or the coloratura.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I thought it was plated beautifully. Like it looked
Yeah,
gorgeous.
yeah.
It looked good. But how do you
I
do a
mean, this is
Parmesan
fucking
dish
on the
without
trailer like every
Parmesan?
single day. I see it. I'm like, that's
Right.
a beautiful
It was
Yeah.
eggplant parmesan.
I mean, a lot of Zeb's explanation of why he didn't add the Parmesan Reggiano it all got cut.
Yeah.
I mean, I took it all with a grain of salt as well.
Oh,
But it's
so
like-
a lot of what he said didn't make the show.
Right.
Correct.
But I mean, would you make an eggplant Parmesan without Parmesan?
Nah, it's too bready.
All right.
He was asking the other chef, not you, fucking jackass in Philly right now.
I think it really comes down to how you sell the dish. I think when you sell them something, when you call something an eggplant parmesan or eggplant parmigiana, you're expecting parmigiana. So you gotta say, like, I know he said that this is my take on an eggplant parm, but he's really got to sell it like right at the beginning and just be like, this is my version of an eggplant, something inspired by an eggplant parmesan. So it's like, I think it's
There you
at the
go.
end of the day, it's the
Dude.
wording of how you sell the dish to the
Yeah.
judges. Because think of a client. If you sold eggplant parmesan to a client, and then after that you told them, but this has no parmesan, then you're fucking yourself. So you have to be like, this is a dish that is
Inspired by
eggplant
egg
parmesan.
Parmesan.
Dude,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
And
What a-
so like,
Yeah.
but again, this goes back to TV where it's just like, after the fact, I'm like, yeah, it's so easy for you to say this shit, bro. Why did you say that?
Right. Yeah, hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, they kind of they sold it as like he's like so confident in this dish that the judges are gonna love it even without the Parmesan. So I figured that there might have been some editing, but at the same time, they made him look like just kind of like a cocky.
A cocky
Person,
guy
like,
that didn't know what he was
fucking
doing.
for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
But
Not
some
saying that's
exposure is it's some good
Hey,
exposure,
yeah.
Let me ask you a follow up question based off your answer. Let's say he would have hypothetically walked up and they said, "Does this not have Parmesan in it?" And he went, "Yeah, it does." Would they have been able to tell the difference? I wonder. Does that make sense?
That's a good question.
I don't know if
That's
I
a good
articulated
question.
that well,
Yeah.
but like I feel like the illusion also, like if you're like, yeah, it's Parmesan, of course it does. They would have been like, yeah, I knew that. But
Right.
does that
I
make
think where
sense?
you're going is like if the guest had a preconceived notion that it was already there.
Yeah, like if
then
you had
they would have had a
revealed it-
different kind of thought or judgment towards it.
Yeah.
Um,
She asked him. She's like, or I don't know if he just said it. He's like, wait, the ingredients in the name of the dish, but it's not actually in the dish. And he's like,
Right.
and I wonder if they did. If he was just like, yeah, it is, but I don't know.
I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt to Alex and Gabe. They're amazing chefs. That they would have been able to pick it out. I
think so,
you
too.
and I,
Great.
we couldn't have picked. We didn't taste it, so we couldn't have speak for it truthfully. But I mean, Alex is an Iron Chef, and Gabe's been around forever, and he's cooking amazing food. Italian is his thing, so I would imagine that they would have been able to pick out that
Right.
there was that umami funkiness from the Parmesan that was maybe missing.
Okay.
I know he was trying to add it back with the culture and all that stuff like that, but they probably would have picked it out as the caliber of chefs that they are.
Interesting. So like they're very dialed in palate wise. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
for sure.
I'm just like, yeah, dude, give me some fucking Dominoes. I'll just go.
I mean, to
Yeah.
piggyback
Just like
on
put
what Fook
some,
said, like,
take some
I-
poison and sprinkle it on some dough, and I'll eat it. And I'll
like the dish that I made, the mushroom leek risotto, I made that in the traditional making of risotto parmigiana. and like Gabe's like, this tastes a lot like risotto parmesan. I go, well, that's exactly what the fuck it is. So yeah,
That's literally what it is. Bingo, brother.
Like, so
Bring
you
it.
nailed
Yeah.
that. You nailed that one, dude. Like,
Yeah.
See, like,
But I want to talk
man,
about. I want to talk about your cook, Phuoc. It was
Yeah.
you, Dev, Jan, Sticks, and Shannon. Right? That's everyone.
Me, Zev, Jan,
Yeah,
Six,
not at all.
and
Shannon,
there's Shannon.
and is that 6?
No, that's 5.
And
No,
Austin.
6.
And Austin. There you go. Or
There you
two
go.
Oriquetes. Okay.
The 2 Arquetes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So talk us through what you like, what your mindset was of when, not of what you were cooking, but when you were looking around and seeing what other people were cooking and where you felt you stood.
All right. So honestly, I was pissed because I was like all the way down at the other end, like furthest
Yeah,
away from
you had the induction burner.
fucking everything. Like
Yeah.
everyone had the stoves and the ovens and the flat tops, and Jan and I were sharing 2 fucking induction burners.
Mm.
Like,
Damn.
we're-
So the kitchen isn't laid out the same for
Detriment.
every
The
person.
kitchen was the kitchen was great.
Oh,
Don't get me
no
wrong. The kitchen
shit.
was awesome.
I would
But,
never
you know, it's
no,
not-
but what he's saying is like they had different
Yeah, there were
elements
different
than
setups.
but so like
Oh,
so
wow.
they drew like numbers, they drew names. So it was random, but it was just like I just unfortunately got stuck all the way down there. So if I wanted to use the stove, I would have to go and run and set it up over there, turn it on, and go back to my station and remember that shit is over there cooking.
Yeah.
And like run back and forth.
Shit.
Because we literally were sharing like a couple, like 2 or 3 induction burners on our side.
Yeah,
But
dude.
Damn.
It's
I
like
mean,
me
to be
like forgetting that I put the microwave on with my mac and cheese,
Right.
like just reheating something.
Oh
Like,
no.
it's it's not like that
Exactly
at
the same.
all.
Right.
Like,
Exactly the same, brother.
Yeah, Ben,
it's
like,
like
comment?
it's literally like my kitchen's on fire, and I'm like, oh fuck, dude, I totally forgot I put that thing in. Anyway, I'm gonna get
Fucking
out of
cheese is
here.
burning.
So what the fuck?
Right.
But again, I think I blocked out most of the time. I knew Jan was doing something Filipino. I remember that, and I was like asking her, hey, what are you making? And it smells really good. And we're working with similar ingredients, like very Asian inspired ingredients. I was like, all right, this girl, it seems like she can throw down. I'm watching her knife skills and everything that she's doing right next to me. I was like, damn, Jan, she's one to like kind of watch out for. The other person was Shannon because I was looking for some white wine to deglaze my my risotto, and there was no more. And I was like, "Who the hell has the fucking white wine?" And she's like, "I have it down here." So she luckily she like she shared some of that with me. But other than that, I really didn't remember anything else like everyone else was cooking. To be honest, I was just so focused on myself. Um, and yeah, I think it was kind of crazy because one thing that they cut out, and I'll spill it and I'll let you guys know. Halfway through, I spilled like part of my mussels, so I had to recook my mussels.
Mm.
I did not know that.
So yeah,
Well, how
Are
long
you
does it
okay?
take to
Are you
cook
all right?
mussels?
11.
Are you all
I mean,
right?
12 minutes.
Okay. 12
Takes
minutes.
2 days. Takes 2
2
days.
days.
Yeah, you actually have to take them and then swim to the bottom of the ocean. Let the
Yeah.
pressure sort of cook them in your fist.
like halfway through, I kind of knock over like some of my mussels, but luckily I had some like saved left over, so I had to cook it. So that part of that leads me into going into a competition. The first one, like if I was to choose a protein, I wasn't gonna choose one, knowing that if something went wrong with the cook or something happened, whether someone else, accidentally fucked me over or whatever, I needed a protein that I could quickly refire. So I purposely chose mussels as my choice just because I knew that, hey, if something happened where I overcooked them or whatever, I can refire them in a very short amount of time and still make it on the plate.
Smart.
Nice.
Smart. So we were all there for the judging. Whoever for both rounds. Let's say, what do you think your top 3 dishes that you were, excluding yours, whether that you saw?
The top 3 from ours, excluding mine. So Jan, Austin's, and who else was Drew? Where you go?
I'm right here still.
Okay.
No, you're not.
Wait, who was it? Jan, Dev.
I said Jan, Austin so far.
It was Jan Steinbeck.
Who the hell? Who else was in my cook?
No, I mean I meant in both cooks.
It was John.
Oh.
That was John's wife, Mink. Yeah.
Guys, give up.
I'm
on the
listening.
fucking
I'm
play.
listening. I'm
We are,
listening.
we are. Sorry.
So let me rest it. So out of both cooks, Phuoc, who
Sure,
did you think?
sure.
What were your top 3 cooks out of the first and second groups?
Jan.
All right. So I think for uniqueness, I would go Jan. Out of all the risottos, honestly, I would probably choose yours because leeks and mushrooms take like the most amount of time to kind of develop flavor. And then out of the pastas, I would between Austin and Zev. I might have to go.
Or Ivan.
I'm sorry, Austin or Ivan. I might have to go Ivan for the pastas.
I said that Ivan was the dish that I was most impressed with as well. I said yours because making a fish sauce caramel is like my favorite things to do.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I will say, when they were doing the judges before, they picked sticks first. How'd you feel about that?
You know what? At that time, I don't remember what her dish was, to be honest.
She did the 3-pepper shrimp with the cauliflower puree.
Oh, the spicy one. You know what? During judgment, the whole time, I wasn't sure if they loved it or not because they were just saying like how spicy it was and everything. But at the end of the day, they really liked it. So to me, when they announced her name, I was like, okay, I might have an actual chance because she did something and she stuck really true to her flavors. So I was like, okay, maybe I might have a chance because I stuck true to mine and I wasn't trying to be Italian chef or whatever when I don't really cook Italian that much. So when they announced her, I really didn't know too much background about her, so I was just like, cool. She cooks Jamaican food or Caribbean style food and stuff like that. So I have a chance because I'm gonna stick true to myself.
Nice. I'm only asking because when in the episode it's rung in as like Alex was saying, the simplicity of the dish, and I was like, oh, maybe this is me because I literally kept it super simple with just leeks, mushrooms, and risotto. And then when it was you, I was like, oh shit, okay. I mean, that's still sick. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, the way that because I thought your dish was much more complex than mine. So like when she said the word simplistic, I thought it was me, and I also was very surprised that Ivan was not actually the winner.
I honestly, I'm beyond. I thought it was gonna be Ivan and Austin, or like Jan in the mix, or you. For you guys put up some really great dishes. They made fresh pasta and all that shit. So for them to choose these two very very different, unique dishes, I was just like, oh shit! All right, cool. This is different. This is gonna be a fucking show.
So again, so obviously you were named Capo, and how did you feel? Like, what's up? Like, were you just like fucking hell yeah, brother, or like what'd you think?
Were you like Hulk Hoganing it? Like hell yeah!
I was just like ripping my shirt. Oh
yeah. Dude, you got the tank top for it. Just got to write. Dude, by the way, quick question. Aside from the technical cooking thing. Because it is interesting.
The technical cooking thing.
Because I'm so dumb
show.
when it comes to it. But did Keane ever tell you his father, who is the fucking man, was
Dr.
Of course he talked to that.
His dad is the fucking man, though, dude. I love his
we lived it for a month. They saw that shit.
They did. Dude. His dad is
we were shirtless many days. It was like summer camp, guys.
Yeah.
Did you ever ask Keane, when did he die? Nah, he's still alive.
No, I didn't ask that. He looks young enough where his dad is still alive.
Yeah, dude.
Phuoc said it best. It was exactly like summer camp.
That's so
just a bunch of dudes being like. Just a bunch of dudes being bros.
Being dudes.
That's dope.
We're literally just farting up a storm, and then we're just sleeping, and just.
Italian food you're eating.
And no one gives a fuck, you know. It's just like we're just dudes being dudes. It's just,
That's
you know,
so
it's
fucking
natural.
cool, man. Hell yeah.
Phuoc,
That's
I
what I
told him
like
it
to
was
hear.
no phones. You know, we weren't getting banged up every night, so it's like I guess we'll just
What?
go to sleep now then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
just like
sleep.
a
Yeah.
good circle jerk, and then like a
So
nice-
to that point though, in the promo for the next episode or for the season, I think they brought up something like Bro Kitchen or something, and somebody
Chef Bro. Hannah said she hates Chef Bros.
that's what I was
What is
getting at.
that?
That's
I
like the
honestly,
classic
She
woman
hates
line. I hate fucking chef bros. Classic
and
woman.
it sounds like you guys were
Just kidding.
enjoying it, but she did not.
So this,
I guess.
yeah, I mean,
Elaborate. Yeah.
all the boys here, we clicked almost instantly. Like we're all
Yeah.
fucking, like all of us are restaurant dudes, and it's just like, oh, you like this? I like that too. Oh, you hate that? I hate that shit too. So it just started clicking. Also, I mean, you throw 6 dudes in a room, like, what are you guys not gonna be fucking boys? Like, you know what I mean?
You're
Bro.
probably gonna be boys.
Yeah.
Right. So Phuoc, you get selected to be capo. It's the next day. We meet Mimo, the fish guy.
Yeah.
Absolute
Fucking
animal.
Nemo, dude.
Yo,
Fucking
Nemo.
Nemo.
With the
Nemo.
pop collar,
Love
dude.
Nemo.
Oh
Nemo.
my
Good
god,
rap name. Good
dude,
rap
were
name.
you ripping it with them?
We only saw him for that day, like for like
Nemo.
Oh,
not even an
really?
hour.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that dude
Nemo's
was
dope.
fucking balling, dude.
And so when they're doing the challenges with you guys, we as the audience, we're finding out about the challenge like in real time, like you guys are. Like when they're saying like, "Oh, you need these teams, and this is what you're gonna do." And because when I'm watching it, I'm just like, this shit is all going over my fucking head. It's just coming so
right.
quick. Um, and then like, what's going through your head as the capo? Where it's like, oh shit, I got to come up with a meal. Like for that
Right.
second challenge, it was you needed a main dish, then you needed like a side dish, then you needed another thing. It's like,
You needed
how do you?
you needed a primi, a segundi, and 2 contori. So you needed an appetizer, a main, and 2 sides.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so like, what's going through your head? How do you go? You're doing this, you're doing that, and this is what the whole project is going to be. Like,
Yeah.
does it have to come?
Right.
It feels like while I'm watching the show, it feels like it has to come up like pretty instantly with the idea of what you're doing.
Right.
A pressure that I would be like, I don't fucking
Yeah.
know, man. Like,
I have a follow. I have a follow up. I have a follow up after you
Okay.
answer this.
Okay.
go for it.
Yeah.
Or after,
right.
yeah.
Answer.
So needless to say, I think that the night before, after winning Capo, not only just being off of the high of winning like the first Capo for the whole season, that's huge. But I'm just going through my head and I'm just like, what the fuck did everyone cook? And I'm just trying to remember and going through their stories. Like, what's their backgrounds? Like, who are they really as people? You know, what are they strong at? You know, someone's strong on seafood, someone does this. They say someone said that, hey, I studied in Italy and I can do pastas. I'm like, okay, that sounds good to know. So I remember I'm trying to pick out like these little things that they're saying during judgment.
So wait a
and
minute.
tying it- yeah.
Let me ask you one more thing. So if you hear that somebody's good at pastas, does that in your head go, all right, so don't do pasta or do a pasta, but do it better? Like, what's going
So
through your head when you hear what somebody else is good at?
So it depends. It depends. If I'm trying to one up someone, then yeah, I'm gonna be like, if you're good at pasta, I'll one up you and I'll show you that I can do pasta as well. We'll go toe to toe.
Okay, there you go.
But
Okay.
if they're on my team, I'm gonna be like, I can also use this person and
For your
make sure
team.
I can be like, okay, I'm gonna have you make pastas for me or something like that, and I'll delegate it off to someone and trust them that they can,
Handle it.
execute and do the job that they say that they can do. But as
Right.
the capo, that's your job, is that you need to follow up and make sure that you're going through the team, make sure that whatever you dedicated or delegated to the team, that you're following up and making sure that they're actually doing it. So like the night before, I'm just going through and I'm just playing that all through my head and trying to do that schoolyard pick rather. And like you said, it's very much live. Like when we went down there, it was very live. Where we're just going back and forth one for one. So like I'm just going through, and when we walk down there, we see the fish and all this. That we see Mimo, and we're like, all right, this is gonna be fish episode.
Yeah.
So like I'm going back through my head, and I'm like, excuse me, I'm like, who worked with seafood yesterday? Who was boasting that
Mm.
they made pastas, or they made this from scratch. They work with fish or seafood or butchering seafood and all that stuff. And I'm like, I remember I'm like, all these guys, and it came down to like most of the dudes where they were just all very well versed in all of this like fish cookery and pasta. I'm like, we're in Italy after all. Like we got to throw something down. So from that, that's kind of how it went. With how I was kind of going through what was going through my head, and how I was trying to pick
Pick
who I wanted
people.
to pick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. No, that makes sense. Halbrick, what was your follow-up question?
yeah.
My follow up is you two, Drew and Phuoc. You guys are both kitchen leaders, like you said. Isn't it a little bit harder when you're not top, when you have to follow other people's orders? I mean, for me, that seems like it's you guys are both stars in your own realm. When you're in a bigger pond, isn't that a little bit not
Uh,
be the leader? Right.
yes and no. Yes and no. I
Right.
think that it depends on the type of leader that you get. There's certain people that actually can lead, and they know what to do and how to use people uh, to their best of their abilities, and kind of not extort, but literally extort them and use them for all of their strengths, and kind of elevate and
Yeah.
build them up. And there's others that in that leadership position, they can't let go of that power, where they want to
Mhm.
still do everything, and it's impossible. It's like, is
Right.
this a cooking show? Yes. But at the end of the day, this is very much like everyday life in a restaurant kitchen, where it's like, as an executive chef,
Yeah.
you cannot do every single job on the line. You need to have your servers, you need your busters, your
Mm,
dishwashers, your
mm.
expo, your line cooks and all that stuff. You need to rely on those people and entrust that
Right.
on them. But some people can't, and they try to take it all on themselves, and you'll see it just comes down to the style of leadership sometimes. So to go back to your question, is it hard sometimes to step down? If Drew is my leader, I would gladly just let him lead me, because I
Would
know
you?
the type of
I'm just
leader that
kidding.
he is. Um,
Right.
That's good.
I'm
Well,
it,
just
that's
it,
kidding.
nice.
but
I
That's
love
good.
but
Keane. Keane's a
to
fucking
follow
legend.
up with that, there's other people where I'm just like, I'm
Like,
going
what are
to
you
say
doing?
yes. I'm going to
Right.
say yes and say yes,
Yeah.
chef. But like, you probably shouldn't be doing that. And I may have
Right.
alluded to you not doing that, but you just won't listen to me.
Right.
Dude,
I couldn't agree more. Like the sign of a good
Right.
chef is being able to take direction, and like it's a often it's sought out to be it's often judged as a sign of weakness, but asking for help is actually a sign of strength, especially in the industry.
dude, well
Hundred
And like
said.
percent.
if
Well
you if
said.
you want to
Any industry.
Any
if
any
you want
any
to be
industry. Yeah,
Any
yeah.
industry.
You
if you want
chefs
to be
ain't that special. No, I'm kidding.
right
No, but
if
no,
you
you're
want to be
right
a
though.
good leader, like
I
you know
agree.
that like
Great point.
you
Great
like
point.
like Phuoc, a lot of us restaurant people have been through the fucking ringer. So it's like, the sign of a good chef is being able to take direction and be like, oh, hey. So, like, when I was on Team Phuoc, I was like, hey, man, you tell me what you need me to do, and I will do it to the absolute best of my ability.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
And it comes down to understanding, hey, man, you clearly cooked better than me that round. So you must, your shit don't stink right now, brother. So it's like,
Well,
Yeah.
like,
it also it sounds like there's a difference between a boss and a leader, right? Like a
yes,
boss is just
very
somebody
much
that
so.
just fucking
hmm
barks at
hmm
everybody, and a leader is somebody like you just both you just nailed it, which is like, hey, I can take constructive criticism from my
Right.
team. I can learn
Yeah.
from my team. Maybe Drew has better speciality with fucking risotto because we've talked about that a million times tonight, or maybe Phuoc has a speciality with whatever it is, but that's the difference between a leader and a boss is removing your
Yeah.
ego.
I mean,
Removing
and
your
that challenge,
ego and, you know, remove your ego for a second. Let me finish. No, but for real, those are that I think that's probably what made me, and I already knew Keane, so I already liked him right off the rip. And I didn't know you at all, Phuoc. And just like I said earlier, I don't know what it was, but I feel like a lot of people could relate to it. You just seem like almost like a man of the people, where you're not
Right.
just gonna bark at motherfuckers. And I've worked in warehouses, I worked in restaurants over the years. I was never a chef, but I did other kind of shit. And
What
the
other
main
kind of
difference,
shit?
I worked in a, yeah, dude, I was jerking off the servers in the salad fucking, you know. No,
He's
but like,
worked in restaurants.
yeah. No, dude, I was a server in at Pizza Hut in
Sound
Ocean
about
City,
the
Ocean
sound
City,
about the
Yeah.
Maryland,
worst.
for a
Yeah.
couple
Sound
of
about
years.
the
You know?
worst.
No, but in all
But
seriousness,
Yeah,
given the
by the
time.
war.
yeah, dude. In all seriousness, though, that's it. Sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my main point. There's a difference between a boss and a leader, and a leader
Right.
brings everybody's specialities and also lifts the people up that are kind of struggling and lagging behind a little bit, and also shuts down like the big dog bully character. That's people don't gravitate towards bosses. That's not the same sort of, like, I don't know. Cooking's like an art, it seems like, and I don't know shit about cooking.
Yes.
But again,
Definitely
I'm
is.
eating
Yeah,
that guy.
definitely.
And it seems
So-
like you two
yeah.
facilitated that very, very well, and some other people didn't so much. And I don't know.
So Phuoc, in the
Oh,
episode. Well, oh, sorry. Were you done?
No, I was just gonna let them respond
No,
to that for a second.
Okay. Oh yeah. Well, just to piggyback off of that. So,
Well, you piggyback
It-
me,
it just-
boy, all day.
Jesus.
so no, because there was obviously one person in your group that might have not done so well, and they
Mm.
may have been alluding to that pretty early on. When did
Yikes.
you actually notice that, and do you think you should have spoke up a little bit sooner to maybe kind of
Yeah,
nip it in the bud?
sure. I think the thing you're talking about is the potato scales.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You're either a liar or you're insane.
So you guys want to get to the cook here? We can talk about that.
I don't.
Is that
I
what
don't-
we're getting there?
So
yeah.
Phuoc should have asked, like, who breaks down fish the most often. It was Ivan and myself. I broke down fish. I break down fish every single day. So like that's what we got on. And then Phuoc did a great job leading the team
You and me
there.
both,
Like,
brother.
Phuoc did a great job leading the team and like literally assigning things.
Thanks,
And
Phuoc.
it was
Appreciate that.
Hannah fucking was like, I'll make the potato scales. And all of us were like,
Mm.
all right. Didn't know it was 2002. Like,
Oh, is
Wait,
potato scales
is
a
that-
2002 type deal?
it's just so outdated.
Dated.
It's such
Really?
an old thing to do. Phuoc, what do you think?
Potato scales?
Wait,
Is that what
wait
you
a
said?
minute. Wait a minute. Wait, did
Explain
she
what's
make
a
the
potato
potato
scale?
scales?
What is that?
for you?
Yeah,
now,
she
now I'm
did.
getting
Yeah.
confused because I thought wasn't it Shannon who you?
No,
No,
it was
Shannon got kicked off for something else.
Oh no,
But-
she was on 16. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
no,
But
she was the
Hannah was the
watery
one that
rice
did
That's a
person.
whole
Dude,
different
I like
conversation.
sticks. I like
Yeah,
sticks.
that's
Okay,
a whole
yeah.
different
Okay.
conversation.
Oh,
Sticks
okay,
seems
yeah,
awesome.
okay, yeah. So no, because I was watching that. Me and my wife were watching that. And you're like, what the fuck is she doing? Like putting these like little potato skins like in the shape of a fish scale, and then she just ended up like just flipping it anyway, and it all got like fucked up. And you're like, what the fuck is
Yo,
this
Phuoc,
shit? Like, what is
break it down. What happened?
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, so Phuoc, what happened here?
It's like, this is
Ah,
sorry, we
the
can't say.
hell?
Sorry, this family friendly show. It's rated PG. so-
family friendly.
Not family.
Dude.
friendly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Go,
anyway,
go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So
Thank you.
I want to know your thought process behind.
I mean, so like Drew kind of said, I was trying to feel out everyone, and I trying to figure out, what they're strong at. So right off the bat, Drew and Ivan was like, "Hey, I can break down fish. Perfect, let's go. You guys work on that one. You guys can work on fish cookery and butchery and all that stuff." And Zev's like, "I can do this, and I can make a mahi. I can do this." He's traveled around the world, so I trust him. I was like, this guy, he's learned and traveled and learned cuisines from different cultures from traveling. So I let him kind of run with that, and I'm like, if anything goes awry, I can watch. I can look down the line. I'll be like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? But
Hell yeah.
with Drew and Ivan, with Zev, I didn't really have to do anything like that. Hannah comes up and she's like, I can make these really cool garnish, the potato scales, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. Like Sure,
okay.
let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So,
Yeah,
Like, you just go over there in the corner.
Yeah,
and do
yeah,
that,
go
man.
over to that place at the end of the kitchen.
See,
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
but that's why
That's
that's
what
why
that's what it seemed
that's
like
why
on the
that's why
show.
he
It's like,
that's
yeah,
why
go
he's
over
a
there and do that a little
that's why
bit.
he's a
Where you gonna-
leader, not a boss.
Mm.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Right.
dude.
I
It's
think
like,
you're being a little
okay,
nice, maybe.
I
yeah,
think
that's what a leader does.
to I'm trying to at the same time figure out what these chefs can actually do because all I'm hearing is
Hell yeah.
hearsay. This is all
Right.
they're saying. Like, I can butcher fish, I can cook fish, I've traveled the world, I've learned from all these places and all that stuff. I can make fish scales. I don't know. I'm just letting these guys go with it, and at the
Word.
same time that everyone they're taking risks to kind of put themselves out there. I'm taking that risk for them, and knowing that if we fail, I'm gonna have to take the hit. Like,
Fucking
Yeah.
hell
that's
yeah,
the
dude.
risk. That's the
My
risk
man.
that I took, and I let them run with it because I wanted to let the rest of my team shine. Because these, Food Network probably wouldn't just bring on like any Joe Schmo up the street to do
They
this.
don't want
Like,
no
these
scrubs.
guys, right? We
Wow.
want pigeons.
Wow.
Wow.
But seriously,
And you're probably thinking like, yeah, maybe these fish scales are like gonna be like the best fucking thing ever. Like,
You never know.
Yeah.
Maybe she was going to put up the most amazing fucking fish scales in the world, and that was gonna go on the Branzino.
yeah,
We didn't know, but I took that risk. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day,
hell yeah, man.
it was also my call to decide on what was gonna put it
Yeah.
on the plate or not. And I knew at the end of the day, if I failed, I was gonna take the hit, and I wouldn't let my team take the hit for it. But
yeah.
Right.
we ended up I think we drafted the dream team and we made it out. So I mean,
There you go.
What happens though is that
Yeah.
when it comes to the judgment day, everybody turns to Hannah and is like, "Sorry, you let us down," and she
Yeah.
ends up being the scapegoat in the end.
But
Unfortunately, is what it
but the
seems
other
like.
question, Phuoc, the other question I had was, comparative to on TV production wise versus you in your home setting, on your home turf, in your own spot.
Right.
Would there be a difference in how you handled it? I imagine there would, but would you pull somebody aside, like in your own spot where you're comfortable? It's your place.
Right.
You're not
Maybe
on
where
TV.
there's consist. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I definitely think I would have pulled someone aside and I was just been like, hey, this is unacceptable. We can't serve this. But at the end of the day, because I am the person in charge and I put you on this task, I'm gonna take the fall for you.
Yeah.
But
Hell yeah.
just know that you need to be better. And that's it. Like, it's like I kind of explain it to everyone. It's just like a short term memory. Like, if something goes bad,
Oh, okay.
we're
I like that.
Yeah,
as
hell
chefs,
yeah.
we're angry in the moment, and then after that, it's just like, okay, brush it off. That's just service. We're done.
Yeah.
Like, let's
Bury
go
the
grab a
ball.
beer.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it moving. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go grab a whiskey, whatever. We're done. Service is done. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Over it. Learn from it and forget it. Like, we don't dwell on that shit.
like
But
that.
I think
Nice.
a lot of the issues is that a lot of people can't separate the fact that this is service and then this is real life, and they carry that over from service into life.
So you guys ended up winning round 2, rightfully so. How much was it because the first team had undercooked fish? Because I
God,
feel
what
like
was that? Oh,
because I
that a
feel like
metaphor?
listen,
Is that a
listen.
metaphor for
They should
something?
have.
No. I'm being for real here. Like I feel like if you serve,
that for
if you got raw fish out there,
you had that raw fish.
Like, I'll talk about.
you're
I'll talk about
done.
that
You're
first
fucking
cook there. Yeah.
done. You're done.
Like,
right?
You're done.
As
Can't
soon
be
as that,
gamey.
like, we were on the table there, like we were.
Yeah,
like,
you guys
know,
were eating it. You guys
we
were
were.
eating
I
it.
did not. I didn't.
I'm
eat it.
so
Oh, you
jealous
didn't
you've
eat it.
spoken a steak
I
in the
picked
creek.
around it. Yeah.
Do they not like?
Oh, you picked
do they
around
not
it.
see
Okay.
this before they serve it? Like, I don't
No,
understand how
they serve the fish whole, so the only way you'd be able to see it is if you broke it
True
apart.
Philly scumbag.
And this
Oh
was
my
on
God.
Sticks, who
This was she was the one
she
cooking the
was
fish.
the
Yeah,
on the kick cooked it.
She was the capo.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
She was the capo, cooked the
my
fish,
thing with
and
that is, like,
undercooked it.
I mean, this is gonna sound savage as fuck, but it's like it just shows that you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like
Mm.
grilling a fish isn't difficult.
Boom.
I
Like,
disagree. See, I'm not a professional chef like you
hey,
two.
Phuoc,
I disagree.
Phuoc,
Well,
how
Cooking
long
a
does it
fish
take
is
to
I'm
grill
not
a
a
hard.
fish?
professional chef, but like, so like my
It's
like Katie was like, what is
Cooking
she
a fish is
doing?
hard.
Like, you
What
can't
is she
just throw
doing? You
that
can't
whole
just.
fish. You can't throw that whole fish on the grill. I don't know anything about cooking,
Yes,
but
you
I
like,
mean,
can.
is that
you
a thing?
can.
Where
You
else?
can.
Yes.
I mean,
Ivan did it well.
well, that's what I want to
Yeah.
bring
Yeah, I
up.
know, but it was like it
Ivan
was a
was making
thinner
love to
fish.
that
I don't know.
fish.
Did you guys see how
Ivan
sensitive
was
it
making.
I was
Hold
about
on,
to
guys.
fuck that fish.
Ivan
Dude,
was
he
about to
was,
fuck that fish.
dude,
So
he was about to Kanye West that thing.
like
His
it
dick.
comes,
I'm a gay
yeah,
fish.
He's fucking-
it comes down to like of
Go ahead.
knowledge of fish. Like a snapper is 3 times as big as a bronzino. A
Yeah,
bronzino
yeah.
is a
Anyway,
slim
anyway.
fish.
it was a shark.
A snapper's
You just
this
threw on
thing.
there, man.
So it's like, and like, you saw that she had like 7 minutes left and she's still out there cooking it. Like it's like,
yeah.
like a big fish like that it can be grilled and put in the oven. She went straight grill, like straight direct heat. It's gonna
Six
burn,
is all style. Dude.
What a
and like
idiot.
it's not, it's not gonna cook from the inside out. Like, so
That's what
I
she-
thought
that's
that was a
exactly-
poor
yeah.
like a poor choice there. And then they covered it. All the skin got ripped off because she didn't pat it dry. Like you
Right.
can't put it on wet. And then
And then they tried to cover it up. They tried to
Cover it up
cover
with
up.
Throw some
like
cabbage
leaves
or
on there,
whatever.
Oh,
leaves.
style. It's
It was
style.
the fennel salad. Actually, the fennel salad did taste pretty good, but like
Exactly.
the way that it was layered, it's like they're trying to cover up mistakes right there. You could just tell by
Yeah.
looking at it.
No, no substance. Fennel
I think-
salad. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think
So-
as chefs, like we know when you go out to eat and you're like, okay, there's extra garnish on this. Like they probably fucked something up and they're trying to hide it.
Oh.
Like why would you
That's a good
you
point.
spend the extra money to put extra garnish on this dish?
Yeah.
Like
How hard
they're not
is
paying
this
for
dish?
it. Like why would you give it
Yeah.
to them?
And like
Well,
we had a pizza oven that was like it goes to 1,000 degrees. Like you could slid the fish right there and cook, but just let it just char on the grill and like just that direct heat just it's not gonna cook it.
Let me ask.
Because it was an open grill, right? Like
Dude, it was that grill was something you'd have in your backyard. It wasn't like this was some
Yeah.
like
What's wrong with that?
amazing.
I don't.
No, no.
I have.
No,
I don't
let me
know,
ask
like,
Keane
they're-
and Phuoc this.
yeah.
Does being professional chefs kind of ruin your experience dining out in other places because
Ah.
you have such good palates? Like you just
I'll
mentioned
start-
something.
I'll start
like
this one.
Phuoc,
Go
Phuoc just
for it, go
mentioned
for it,
it. He
brother.
was like, sometimes you can tell when there's too much garnish or seasonings that
Yeah.
they fucked up.
Whereas
So-
a normie,
Yeah, right.
sort of
Oh,
like,
I-
that's
I
fine.
actually-
Fucking a simple peasant. What do you
Yeah.
yeah,
A peasant like myself is just like,
yeah.
I will
Which
say, like,
me, like I go to Chick-fil-A, I'm like,
oh hell
you know,
yeah.
like, dude. I actually,
fire.
Phuoc,
Let's
I never considered that question until you just said what you said, which is like, yeah, you can tell when they're over putting certain ingredients on that they probably burnt or undercooked or over whatever something. You know?
like, so I'll start this by saying I used to be
I'm sure you
absolutely awful at dining with. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
I used to be
Sorry,
absolutely
sorry.
like I used to be horrible at dining with because I would just nitpick everything and like
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
it wasn't until like later in my cooking career, like when I was working at my first steakhouse and like some guy wanted a well done steak, and it's like
Ugh.
I go, man, fuck this guy. It's like,
Yes.
dude, and he goes,
Yes.
dude, why do you like? Well, you don't got to eat it. It's like, well, that's
Oh.
a good point. I don't
Yeah.
think I can put that. I can put it in the back of the grill and just let it and
Right.
forget about it. Like that guy didn't
You've
give a
gotten
fuck.
good enough. You're actually commercial successful now.
Right.
You've gotten good enough to say, you know what? If you idiots want this, fucking,
You can have it. But yeah,
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Want
but
some
it wasn't-
ketchup
it-
packets on
like-
the side? Fuck it.
right.
Go
It
ahead.
wasn't
Yeah.
until like I go on dates. With
That's
girls
what I need to
like-
do
like-
with music. That's what we need to do with music. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like going on dates, the girls have a bad time. So I'm like, this is overcooked. It's like the person I give a fuck about. Like,
No.
Right.
take a second,
Be
take
an
a step
idiot.
back.
Get laid.
Be
Get laid. Be an idiot.
Like, there ain't nothing wrong with
Be an
fucking chicken
idiot.
tenders. You know what I mean? Like, that's just delicious.
Be an idiot. Get laid. Shut up. Just shut the fuck up.
Right.
Just get laid. Yeah.
It's also, it's like, hey man, maybe because you would have approached this dish differently doesn't make it a bad dish. Like some guy thought this
No,
was going to be
exactly.
Well, a
Yeah,
well-done
like-
steak is a bad
Yeah.
fucking dish. Let's.
great. Well, yeah, you're a dickhead.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, my dad, the idiot. My father, the idiot, fucking gets the well-done steak.
Yeah,
Or
Like-
an uneducated diner.
just loves
Phuoc, what's your
carbon.
take on this, bud?
It's a fucking idiot.
Like, yeah.
Um,
Like, yeah. Does that now to Phuoc, who hopefully can articulate that you can better than that, but I do fully understand what you're saying, Keane, which is like, you got to separate the art from the artist, maybe kind of thing.
yeah, not really.
No.
I mean, true.
Yeah, Mick.
There-
Mick, you're way
there-
off the mark.
there are certain things where it just there are certain things where it crosses the line where it's just like that shit is fucked. Like that shouldn't have been served. You know.
Right.
There's other things where it's acceptable. So when kind of going out to him where he was just like, it was a pain to go out with him before. I kind of had to turn that off. Like it was a switch where I just turned off, and I'm like, okay, I'm not working right now. I need to be able to just go out and enjoy, and just realize that
Yes.
I'm enjoying this dish, and how I kind of see it is like I'm enjoying this dish as how this specific chef intended it to be enjoyed. So
Damn, well said.
There we
man.
go.
Well said.
Well said.
I go out with that kind of mindset so it doesn't ruin my whole experience. That if I'm like that was completely fucked, that was like this
Right.
was cooked wrong or whatever, I'm like that ruined my dinner. But instead, if I come in, I'm like, okay, this is how the chef intended this meal to be served.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see it from his point of view, his or her point of view rather, and I
Yeah,
can
dude.
enjoy that. I can enjoy it. But at the same time, people are always asking me like, "Oh, chef, what do you think about this food?" I'm like, "Do you really want to know?" You know, 'cause I'm like,
Hey,
and it's like I like that preface
truly-
though. Yeah.
you can't compete all the time. You cannot compete all the time.
No, but just like
You have to
the
serve it
ability,
often.
like and
Yeah.
like he was saying, to be able to kind of flip that switch off.
flip that switch, you know.
I mean, it
Oh man,
excuse me.
that's a really.
I didn't.
Right. I'm a killer. I'm not a killer anymore. Be chill.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a very
Yeah.
hard time separating myself. I still struggle with it, like separating my life from the restaurant because I'm one of those
Right.
hardworking mofos. And it's like, how much? Like again, if you're on a date, like how much fun is that other person having?
Right.
Or it's
Oh,
like,
good-
and it's also
good-
like, it's like,
yeah.
like, are you gonna ruin this time for someone else?
Yeah.
Yeah, or just
Right.
ruin
Like
your
I
own
have,
time
I
silent.
have a question for you. Like, how many times have you sent something back, Drew?
Well, I've never done it.
My
Thank you.
man. Good
That-
job.
yeah.
That's
Does
what I was
Good
trying
work,
to
brother.
represent.
Does anyone do that? That's like
No.
People
I
definitely do,
haven't.
for sure.
I haven't.
And same question to you,
People-
Phuoc. Have you
That's-
ever?
yeah.
It sounds like no. It sounds like you
No,
kind of
you know,
just
like
go
I
with the
can,
flow.
I go with the flow, and like even if it goes down to like I ordered a steak medium rare and it comes out well done, I'll still eat that shit because at the end of the day, I'm
Same.
pretty sure like they're fucking slammed back there at this steak. If I
Yup,
send it
there
back,
it is.
it's going to get sent to the trash or some shit like that. They're gonna be pissed and they're gonna rush to get your food out, and they're probably gonna fuck it up again, and you're not gonna eat.
Yeah.
Purpose.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah.
one, you're not you're pissing off the staff, and two, you're probably not gonna eat for another like 2.5 hours, and they probably spit in it. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
Yeah, are you?
Listen, let me ask you this.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Let me ask you this. I don't know if
Yeah, go ahead.
I know Andrew hasn't worked in a restaurant. Ben hasn't. Hallbrick, I don't know if you've worked in one,
I have
but
many years,
um,
man.
yeah,
I
yeah.
have.
And so then it's like I would be in the
Yeah.
kitchen with the cooks, and somebody would send a burger back because like you just said, Phuoc, they were slammed, and somebody would send it back, be like, "Oh, this wasn't to this," and the chef would be like, "Yo, fuck this motherfucker! I'm about to go fucking twice as hard." And like,
Right.
I sometimes I guess it depends. I guess it all kind of depends. People are people, no matter what realm you're
Right.
in. But there's a way to go about it, and there's a way to not go about it. And my way
Right.
to not go about it is I just never send anything back ever, and never
No.
would, unless
Yeah.
it was the wrong meal completely. But if it's like
Right.
you
Unless
said-
I get some.
Unless it was completely just like, no, I didn't even.
Yeah,
go
I
there.
didn't order
Like you
this.
said-
If I order a steak
Uh,
and fettuccine Alfredo, it's
There
fine.
you
Yeah,
go.
that's
So,
different.
like,
That's
Because
different.
then in front of your chick, you
Okay.
just look like a total fucking pussy. But if it's like slightly overcooked, like you said earlier, Phuoc, like I'm not gonna. It's like I get
I'll
it.
muscle it down. You know,
I'll
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah,
eat
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
eat that
yeah.
shit. You know, and
Yeah,
the
that's
server
good.
comes over and asks me like, "What's the problem?" Like, there's no problem. Everything's
it's all
fine. Don't
good.
you worry.
But back to the original point, that fish was wildly undercooked, and I can't
Yes.
believe that it was served.
That being said, that fucking shit sucked.
Yeah,
Hey.
it was
Yeah,
tough.
that being said, I was about to choke slam the fucking cook that overcooked.
Hey,
my fish.
speaking of the fish though, the fish that you guys cooked, Keane, something that got brought up a bunch was the way that it was cut. And Alex kept bringing up this bloodline thing. I don't even like me. I don't fucking know what she's talking about, but like she said she liked it, but it sounded like it was like a preference thing.
It
So,
really
can
is.
you explain that?
Like bloodline is like a dark. It's like, you know, it's not actually blood. It's a muscle of the fish. It's this blood cover that goes on the center of the fillet.
Okay.
And so it's not actually blood. And I enjoy bloodline. I don't think some people think it tastes very irony, and they're like, oh, and like honestly, the name and the color really turn people off.
Mhm.
But like my whole thing is utilize every aspect of an animal. Like if you're gonna cook with it, utilize every single aspect of it. So like I leave the bloodline in there, and like it got cut when first I just like I had it all cut, and she was like, "Oh, you're leaving the bloodline in?" I go, "Yeah, I personally don't
You
mind
like it.
bloodline. Like I
Wait,
think
so
you know,
when you say you're leaving the bloodline, does that mean that
What?
you have to like cut it out, or do you like
you
cook it enough to get rid of
no,
it?
it'll forever and always be there if you don't cut it out.
Oh, okay.
So I left it in because again, I like even the restaurant that I was working at the time, like the dish that we served had the bloodline in it. Like it's because it's still, you know, it's literally personal preference. The only
So
fish that you
it's
don't,
like is it like a vein? It's just like a vein that's in there?
it's a muscle. It's a muscle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And I left it in, and then she like, you know, the first challenge is still trying to win, even though like the bar was low, we still were trying to blow them out of the water and like to really showcase our tills. And like that's the reason that the cuts got different because I went back and I trimmed the pieces that had the bloodline in it just because I didn't want her to say like, oh, there's bloodline in this.
But you left it in though, right? Or
I
didn't you?
originally left
You
it in,
originally
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the cuts
Gotcha.
got a little off. There were some off cuts because I went back and trimmed it.
I see. So that's why she was like, "Oh, what were you doing here?" Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But
Keane,
it
But, I mean,
wasn't raw, so
yeah,
That dish was served raw, but you know, yeah, it was
I mean,
meant to be.
Oh, that fish no, you're right. You're right. Okay.
Right.
Keane, you know what? Something else that was really funny that got said by Ivan, who it seems like the man. Also, I don't know if anyone else picked up on this. Ben, Andrew, he said, "Well, Keane and I tag teamed the fish," and I thought,
Yeah.
that was fucking-
He did not
So
say
they
that.
definitely,
He
did
they
say that.
definitely
Yes,
fucked them
he
fish.
did.
Yeah, he did.
You guys bang that fish?
I mean,
Well,
I
we're
think
serving it.
like Fook asked, like, you know, who
So,
can break down
alright.
fish? And
No,
I
well,
never, like,
I just think
So,
they cooked
but
the
you
fish
watched
together.
the episode and everything. They put like that music behind, you
He
know,
was
the
making
whole,
love
like
to that
him,
fish.
Yeah, it was like
rubbing
bow.
it.
Oh,
it was sensual.
It was
very
like-
sensual.
Yeah,
It was
I
like-
very
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, dude, I'm getting a little hard right now.
They
Jesus
played like that.
fucking Christ.
They played that Marvin Gaye sample. It was like bow, 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 and then he
Yeah.
went, "Yeah, Keane and I," or he said, "Drew and I tag team."
Drew and I tag team.
I
Dude,
wrote it
and I-
down.
he
That's,
had the most serious face on too. He's like, yeah, I'm fucking.
yeah, dude, that's a direct quote
Ivan-
from the. That's a direct quote. And
Ivan is
Fook-
such a very like centered person. Like he would have moments
he
alone,
seemed like
in
the
between,
man, dude.
Oh, he
just
was
dead silent, dead face.
Right.
Yeah,
Boom.
Right.
but he also seemed like really like lighthearted and like positive.
Love
too,
him.
you know?
Yeah.
Dude's awesome.
Love him.
He
We were
seemed like
we were,
the
we were
man.
passionate about
bunk
it.
mates.
And
Yeah.
before
Love him.
Fook,
When
before you
Alex put you in the fucking vice script there about the potato scale, man. How'd you feel? Because like the look
yeah.
on your face was like, do I tell her?
So dramatic.
Yeah, I think it was just like at the end of the day, it was just like beyond the fact that yes, am I trying to protect my team? Am I trying to take, the fault for it? But there's a way for me to take fault for it. I don't have to specifically say out of my mouth that yes, Hannah fucked up the potato scales, but I can say yes, chef.
Right.
The potatoes were unevenly cooked, chef, so therefore I couldn't serve them.
Yeah. You're like,
And this
yes,
is where your
chef,
boy comes in
I'm not
with
pointing any fingers here, but I'm just rubbing my nose. She's
yeah.
like standing
This is
right
why I got the
there.
most text messages I think I've ever gotten in my entire life. Is you're either if you thought those were cooked perfectly, you're either a liar or you're insane.
Yeah.
It was a
And
great
everyone was
line.
just like, they cut that shit so perfectly, and everyone's like, "What did you say?" And I was like, "What do you think? Like, come on, like, yeah."
Yeah.
It's like when it came, but it came to that like to that dish. It's like one, they weren't cooked. They weren't cooked properly at all. Some were
Correct.
cooked, some were raw. They weren't the size. They weren't even the length of the fish. Like so, it's like what we're gonna put 5 scales on this,
Right.
and like Ivan did such a great job charring that skin. It's like
It was so
we made that
crispy and beautiful.
right. We made that gremulata and we put that on the bottom because that's how good the fish was cooked on
Right,
top.
right, right, right.
So it's like, all right, man, we're not gonna have to cover this up. But I think Ivan thinks we should have let her do it and just kicked her out fucking day one.
Yeah,
Mm.
unfortunately, we were so strong in every other component and aspect of our cook that we just roasted the top. But
Yeah.
Is that
So
a
you're
thing to
Yeah.
like to do those potato like to put it in the shape of a fish scale and then
it
put it
like I
on
said,
the
like
fish?
it was in
It's
the
an
early
old
two
thing.
thousands. It's a very
Yeah.
old thing to
It's
do,
it's an okay. It
yeah,
might have been yeah. Okay, that's
and
fucking
I think
weird.
that kind of just shows where Hannah stood like in the culinary world. It's like no one fucking does that anymore,
She's
dude.
stuck in the 2000s. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Dude, that's sexist right there. Fook,
So
let me ask you a quick question, Fook.
yes, sir.
So Stixie, right? Where are you
Six,
from originally?
California, Southern
California. So
California,
so
Anaheim,
you're the West Coast guy. She's an East Coast. I think she said Bronx or Brooklyn gal, right?
Queens.
Queens. So same vicinity, but
Yeah,
I guess that's like two completely conflicting cultures in some ways. But she seemed really cool too. Like, and
yeah,
initially, I'm like I grew up with these guys right outside of Philly, like 45 minutes an hour, and I was in Philly for 15 years. And initially, when her intro came up and it was like Stixie, before she even said anything, said Brooklyn. I'm like, I'm not gonna like this broad at all because there's like a lot of but there's like a lot of tension between Boston, Philly, and New York, right? It's like a
yeah.
territorial kind of thing. And then I really ended up liking her because she just seemed very authentic East Coast. Um, so I guess my question would be, how do you, a West Coast, different culture from the East Coast, obviously, it seemed like you guys got along. What was your opinion or your perspective of working with people from the East Coast versus West? I don't know. Is there like a difference in the kitchen, and the general speed of things? I don't know.
I think for the most part, when you get into the kitchen, there's no East Coast or West Coast or what region you're from. It's just how you were brought up in the kitchen. Everyone kind of just
Ah, okay.
you kind of just know like this is we kind of all strive to work with like the brigade system, right? Like that you have your garde manger, you have your proteins, your section, and all that stuff, your saucier, and all that. When we came into this, it wasn't like, or for me at least, it wasn't like, oh, you're from the East Coast, I'm from the West Coast, you're from New York, you're from I don't know, Texas. It didn't matter to me. To me, it mattered more like how you commanded in the kitchen, how you
Okay.
worked
Okay.
in the kitchen.
That makes sense.
So at the end of the day, it wasn't like a region of where you're from, because at the end of the day, food is, to me, it's a universal language. Like we all
Nice.
understand what food is. So it didn't matter to me where you came from. It's just how you managed the kitchen after that, after the fact.
Great, dude. That's so cool to hear.
was there any doubt in your mind that we were the winning team, or did you were you actually like, concerned? I thought as soon as our fucking food came out, like, oh, we got this.
Um, I think for the first time, I was like, okay, I think we have this, and I can relax a little bit. Just thinking about the things that they said, and just going through tasting, because we went second, and I knew we went through, and I couldn't eat the fish myself. Um, again, like I can dive really quickly into it. Again, this goes into how you sold the fish. This was a grilled fish, like grilled snapper. So I'm expecting it to be cooked. if you sold it as a like snapper crudo, that would have been, okay. I would have been like, okay, that was kind of raw. I can eat that. But because it was sold as a grilled snapper, I expected it to be cooked and it wasn't, so I couldn't
Right.
physically eat it. So going into judgment, I was like, I feel confident with this, knowing that we left the potato scales off, that we were gonna be okay, and we were gonna be good.
And then to follow up with that is, so Shannon ends up going home. Do you agree with that decision that was made there?
Oh, that's a loaded question, Mr. Keane.
I want to start with you, and I want to ask all the guys here if they thought that was the right decision.
If I was gonna be completely honest, my favorite components of that team's cook was the two sides, was the rice and the carrots. So if I had to choose, I mean, I don't think that she shouldn't have gone home. The rice was cooked fine; it was cooked well. Uh, the carrots were delicious. The fish was not a grilled fish. I couldn't eat it. Although, can you eat raw fish? Yes, but it was sold as a grilled fish, and that's not what it was.
Right. So if you were voting, who would you have voted for?
I would have voted for sticks.
Ben, who would you have voted for?
If it comes to accountability, then it should be sticks, right?
Right.
But you guys, the thing is about that whole competition is that you kind of got a freebie from the first competition. So do you judge it between the two, or do you judge it with just this most recent one as to who gets kicked off? You know what I mean? So, like, if it's the two, I think it might be. Well, Hannah was on your team.
Hannah
so,
won, so she's out.
So yeah. So then maybe, maybe. Who do I go with? I go with Shannon. I gotta go Shannon just because of her dumb comment. The being attractive, I know.
Yeah.
That comment, what the hell? And
Hey,
she
yo,
messed up. And to follow that up, she didn't do well in the first competition either. So it was a duh, because they were getting on her about her risotto as well, from what I remember, right? And she was like, she like mashed it up, or she did
mashed
something.
it,
Yeah, she did something. So I think it was I think it was the right pick, because meanwhile, she did well in the first one, so it was like a double whammy for Shannon.
Hey,
Had to
Young,
go.
what do you think?
Well, I mean, dude, Sticks, she was just way too fucking cocky. At least that's the way that she was fucking portrayed. And
so?
the fact that she
I
just
liked her.
threw that big ass fish on the grill, it was just like never going to be cooked all the way through. So I think she has to take all of the fault for that one. That being said,
true.
I mean, what was her name? Shannon. I mean, that was some like soupy ass looking rice.
Oh, for 2. And the other thing Alex said, no risotto, and then she comes with,
and then
well, here's some rice.
Then here's some fucking
Like,
goddamn rice.
What the hell?
So, but no, but at the at the end of the day, though,
No dice.
you know, you gotta
Take
put the
accountability.
fault on the captain. I think, like you're saying, Phuoc, like, you know, you got to kind of take responsibility. And I think she, put a little bit too much responsibility on herself. She's,
Who did? Shannon?
So, Mink, the question
Sticks.
is,
Sticks.
so
Oh,
the question we're asking, Mink,
So-
is: do you think voting Shannon was the right decision, or do you think someone else should have went home for that? Like, who? The question is, who would you have voted for?
I think there was a bigger, to me, and Shannon seemed very sweet and nice and not untalented at all, but I don't think she had the temperament for being a head chef like that, because like the chef barely critiqued her first dish, and she was like getting teary eyed a little bit, and I feel like
she was crying.
I'm not.
She was crying.
Yeah, but
She was
like
crying. Wait, who'd she?
I mean-
she turned back to what's his name? He's like how dare you, or something like that.
To Austin.
Yeah, and it's like Austin, the most like seemingly like agreeable guy ever. Like
You-
let's think a gal like Styx could run a fucking kitchen. I think she could hold it the fuck down. I think Shannon is as maybe as talented. It doesn't really matter your talent. And what really comes down to is, can you command a team of people and inspire them and lead them? And if something fucks up, exactly like Phuoc was saying earlier, I will fall on the sword for my team. I will take accountability. And that's the difference between a leader and a boss. That is.
Yep.
And it's not even a
Mm-hmm.
male female
Bingo.
thing, because I've worked with many women that are very strong. I revere strong women. But I just don't know that Shannon had that in her, that dog in her. I think
So who you voting
Styx
for, Mick?
did. What?
Who's your vote for if you were on
For
the team?
Kicking somebody off.
Shannon.
You're
for
kicking off
sure.
Shannon.
Yeah,
That's my whole point.
Yeah.
That's what
Fuck
I'm saying.
Shannon. What are you
So-
talking?
I'll wrap this up.
Yeah.
No, you won't. I'm
I'll
gonna
Wrap it up.
I'm gonna wrap you up in a rug and bury you in the fucking desert. Fucking
Jesus
cut me off
Christ.
again, dude.
So
What I'm saying is, like, it has talent and being able to manage people and lead them into the fucking gates of hell, like you guys do, like Keane you do, and Phuoc you do. They're like, you have to. Soldiers gotta believe in you, and if you don't have that
Mhm.
belief in yourself, no one's gonna want to follow you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I think certain people in the show got it and certain people don't, and I don't think Shannon was one that has it. But that comes with time. Build your confidence up, and she could be that person. She's got the skill set for it. It's just,
Well, I think they said that she owns 2 restaurants already.
yeah,
She does.
but who
She does.
yeah, but who I mean, is she owning and leading are different?
So, I'll wrap it up by saying
Yeah.
if I was voting that team, I would have voted for Styx because she took it on herself to be the main cooker of the protein, and it was cooked improperly. And she also allowed the
I get
decision
it.
making of the team to be making rice, doing it's like she
point.
let them do that, and like it was clearly stated no more rice, and your fish was undercooked.
Let it
I
happen.
don't think Shannon got the opportunity to let her talents really shine. I
agree.
Like Phuoc said earlier, the rice was probably one of the better parts of that dish.
Oh,
Yeah.
That whole
wow.
lunch, yeah. Like
That's-
it wasn't like, oh my god, this is delicious, but it was the most edible thing.
It was the most edible thing. You could
Okay,
actually eat it.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well said. Well said.
let me ask both of you boys this, chef wise. If let's say you had a space of 10 years, I'm really actually genuinely curious to hear your answers. Let's say you had 10 years and you had Styx and Shannon. Who would come out with the more successful restaurant if every factor was the same after 10 years?
Like if I was to train either
If
one
I
of
was
them,
to train them,
I'd go with Shannon.
No,
I would go Shannon.
Oh, maybe she's more coachable. Maybe more
Wow.
coachable.
I
Yeah.
just feel like if
Interesting. Okay,
she
okay,
has
that's a good
the
answer.
skills,
That's a good answer.
she has the drive and the desire of like, if you want this done this way, this is the way that I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's a great answer.
Wow.
I just wasn't sure if, you can build confidence up over a period
Right.
of time. So, okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Good answer.
So, Phuoc, we are wrapping up here. Tell the
Yeah.
people where they can find you.
All right, so you guys can find me on Phuoc, Phuocv. That's my Instagram. My TikTok doesn't work because every time I submit something, it says it's the content is shit or something like that. So,
Oh,
so
man.
you guys can find me on Instagram at Phuocv, and that's pretty much where you can find me. But you'll see me on all of the boys, all the girls from Ciao House. They
Oh, yeah.
always share all the love. We're one big familia, so
Fuck yeah, man.
it's
is
fucking
awesome.
it's fucking a huge family. We love it.
It was
All right.
for me, fucking great talking to you, man. You seem like a very genuine, authentic motherfucker, and you got a great smile. Whatever whitening toothpaste you're using.
Yeah,
please
send
me
that
the
our
link.
send that our
But
way.
no,
so.
genuinely.
I got you guys.
Thank you so much, dude. Thanks so much for
Yeah.
taking your time.
Yeah, Keane, Phuoc,
Come on,
thank
dude,
you guys
seriously.
for coming on the
You're the man.
show. tonight. This was a lot of fun for me. I think everybody had a lot of fun. Phuoc, I'm cheering for you over Keane now.
Yep.
Sorry,
What?
Keane. Yeah, sorry, but
Yeah,
that's just
it's
the way
nice
it
talking
goes.
to a real
But
celebrity.
celebrity,
You know,
and
like,
I
this
hope
is
you
great.
go far. I hope you both go far, and maybe
Yeah,
we'll get
Thank
you back
you.
on the show again. I had a lot of fun. It was
Dude,
fun
yeah.
talking about this show. I hope you guys had a good time,
Hell yeah.
and
I
I can't wait for the
yeah.
next episode
Yeah,
of
man. And
of
Keane,
Ciao House.
of course,
Ch-
thanks to you too, Keane.
Yeah.
Fucking Delaware brother. Thanks for introducing us to this guy too, man. It was
When is this airing tomorrow?
probably never.
Never.
Well, Mink is gonna wake up tomorrow and go, "What the fuck did I say last
No,
night?"
I'm not.
But,
I fucking
but-
buckled down everything.
all right, it's going up tomorrow then.
Fuck
folks.
Can we
you,
take a
It's
can,
good.
can we take a shot? Can we all take a shot for my birthday? I mean, we can pretend like it's tomorrow.
dude. Let's do it.
Luke, tomorrow's your birthday.
Oh, well,
man.
It's
well,
one
wait a
of
minute. Let me
yours,
get a drink then. Hold on.
He's got the
Fuck,
bottle.
tomorrow's your
already.
birthday?
Yeah, bro.
Wait,
How
how old are
Fuck,
you?
well,
How old are
let's
you
get a
turning,
shot.
bro? How old are you
Let's go.
turning?
33.
I'm
33.
33
Oh
now.
my god! I thought
Dude.
you were.
Phuoc, I mean this for real, bro. Like I would, I'm telling you, man. You and I would be, at least for me, looking at you and watching you. I would get a beer with you at the bar.
Man,
I would-
get
I'd
off
be-
his dick already.
I'd be chopping
Jesus
it up.
Christ.
I'm not gay, but if I would,
dude.
Me
how many
either,
times
but
you
if,
gotta
if
say?
I was,
No,
I
but
would
for
go
real, man.
You. I would
There
go for
you
you,
go.
Mink, okay?
no, and are you? You said you're in SoCal. Did you say that earlier?
No, not
He's
anymore.
in Tampa now.
Tampa.
Okay, cool.
All I got is another twisted tea, but I'll take a
It's okay.
I'll
No
take a
worries.
drink for you.
Hold on.
Hell yeah, dude. Phuoc, again, sorry that all my friends are fucking assholes, but this was also
No,
it's okay.
super fun
Oh.
having you.
I know. It was a good
It's
time,
my
guys.
pleasure.
Very, very
I
fun.
think I had pretty good questions. Fuck.
Yeah.
Cheers.
guys.
to Phuoc.
Happy birthday, Phuoc.
Cheers, gents.
Happy
Hey,
birthday,
happy
man.
birthday, bro.
Happy birthday.
Give your
All
cat
right.
a little shot behind you.
Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight on Chow
Other side,
Down
other side,
After
other side.
Dark.
There you go.
Good night.
Thanks again.